Hey, how's it going, guys? So we're back with more Mass Effect lore videos. If you're new to the channel, welcome. So in the past two videos that we saw, one was about the Leviathans and the other one was about the Reapers. But now we're going to be jumping into another species. And this one is called our most hated alien species, the Turians. Now, when it comes to... I didn't know that the Turians were the most hated alien species. Well, they're gonna explain. He's gonna explain in the video. And by the way, shout out to Metalord nerds. Wait, did I mess it up again? Oh, Meta Nerds lore. God damn, I'm really bad with names. Meta Nerds lore for providing the video. And when it comes to Turians, the very first person that comes into mind is Garrus, one of your most loyal crewmates. And yeah, there were Turians like all over the three games, just like running into them, doing side missions here and there, and they're all unique, different colors and different armor colors and all there, and different like skin colors. So I find that really unique. But what makes them the most hated alien species? I'm really curious. So without anything else, let's just jump right into the video.
When it comes down to it, Shepard, I don't think I'm a very good Turian. When a good Turian hears a bad order, he follows it. He might complain, but he knows his place. I just don't see the point in staying quiet and polite, not when the galaxy is at stake.
Turians don't like the cold, Shepard. Did I ever mention that?
What's up, Meta Nerds? This complete breakdown of the Turian race will pull from all resources available to understand every aspect of these powerful and honorable aliens. Renowned for their warlike and disciplined ethos, the Turians became the third species to join the Citadel Council. Securing their council position followed their triumph over the belligerent Krogan during the Krogan rebellions. Utilizing a Solarian engineered biological agent dubbed the genophage, the Turians brought about near sterilization of the Krogan populace, and they assumed the peacekeeping role vacated by the once cooperative Krogan, eventually gaining recognition in a council seat for their efforts. Hailing originally from Palavan, the Turians are most renowned for their military contributions, notably providing soldiers and starships to bolster the Citadel fleet. Esteemed for their devotion to public service, C-Sec was their brainchild. Other races sometimes viewed them as imperialistic or inflexible, and tensions have existed between Turians and humans, all stemming back to their involvement with the First Contact War.
Do you take pleasure from committing genocide, Shepard?
Depends on the species, Turian.
Damn.
Commander, you are addressing a member of the Council. You will show the proper respect.
Disconnect.
Whoops. And we're out.
However, progress is being made to mend these rifts, exemplified by the collaborative efforts of both races in constructing the SSV Normandy. Nevertheless, a considerable portion of Turians still bear resentment toward humans, and vice versa. We will look at every aspect of these people, but let's start with the biology. They typically are above 6 feet tall, or 1.8 meters, featuring two lengthy, relatively thick fingers, each with talon-tipped opposable thumbs on both hands, and mandibles encircling their mouths. They have an avian resemblance akin to humanoid birds or raptors, and they do not lay eggs, but develop their offspring in a womb and give live birth like mammals. David Anderson likened Turians to an evolutionary link between birds and dinosaurs, though I must admit I'm not really sure what he means by that. Their voices possess a distinct flanging effect, making them easily recognizable even in crowds of aliens. Physically, male and female Turians share slight differences. Females lack swept-backed cranial crests of males, but have larger cat-like eyes, and as for their lifespan, it's about the same as humans. Manifesting predator qualities rather than prey characteristics seen in those like Krogans, Turians have forward-facing, alert eyes, suggestive of exceptional eyesight, and teeth and jaws resembling apex predators such as crocodiles or ancient carnivorous dinosaurs. Their talons on both feet and hands seem capable of tearing flesh, aligning with
they
their
really do look
primarily
like dinosaurs.
meat-based diet. Their sleek bodies also imply their capability for swift movement.
You obviously haven't seen Turians swim. It's a lot of flailing and splashing interrupted by occasional bouts of drowning.
The defining attribute of Turians lies in their metal carapace.
So Turians can't swim.
Thulium. The Turian homeworld, Palavan, harbors a metal-deficient core, resulting in a weak magnetic field that allows greater solar radiation penetration into the atmosphere. As a result, most life forms on Palavan evolved with some sort of metallic exoskeleton for protection. The reflective, plate-like carapace of Turians grants them some resistance to long-term, low-level radiation exposure, though you can't really call this a form of natural armor. It's not like a hard shell, and though this is a relatively rare feature, it is seen on Earth in creatures like the scaly-foot gastropod, aka the volcano snail, which has a shell with an outer layer having a high percentage of iron. While their thick skin cannot withstand projectiles or directed energy bolts, they can sense vibrations through that carapace and are known to use a hammer-like tool as a means for carapace massages. So it's tougher than the skin of most species, but don't think of it as some sort of solid plate armor. Their blood has a dark blue hue, while carapace wounds and subsequent scarring may appear red. Life on Palavan relies on dextro amino acids,
took a hit
despite
in Mass
being
Effect 2.
carbon-based and oxygen-breathing, setting Turian biology apart as a minority in the galactic community. The Quarians are the only other sapient dextro-protein race.
Dr. Michelle did get me some dextro amino chocolate. You're welcome to it once we're back.
She got you Turian chocolate?
She said she saw it and thought of me. Why?
And we saw that Protheans were rare and that they can eat even these species. And because of their unique biology, the foods of humans, Asari, or Solarians, originating from levo amino acid-based biospheres, it all merely passes through a Turian system without providing any sustenance, or at worst, it triggers potentially fatal allergic reactions if not promptly treated. An idiom used by a Turian mechanic says, if you can polish enough gizzard, which hints at a digestive system akin to Earth's birds and reptiles, some of which swallow stones to aid in breaking down tougher foods in the stomach. As for their culture, since the Unification War, Turians commonly adorn themselves in intricate markings akin to elaborate tattoos, which signify their colony of origin. The significance of many of these marks remains a mystery, as does the potential meaning behind the colors, though they have never told other alien races what these mean. Some can appear white, especially on Turians with darker carapaces, though occasionally you can see different colors like blue, as seen on Garrus, or red, seen on Irene. The absence of facial markings is
I thought the red was because she's the leader of a gang or clan.
Carries connotations of deceit and untrustworthiness, and they use this term to describe all politicians. Turian standards of attractiveness seem to favor skin tones similar to those of Mordin Solus. For male Turians, expressing attraction to a potential partner often involves complimenting their waist or head fringes. As a part of their grooming practices to attract mates, male Turians would often file their talons and buff their fringes, much like many bird species that
Damn, we could have
wingman
wingman Garrus? I gotta see
Turians
this.
are renowned for their unwavering commitment to public service. It is a rarity to encounter an individual who prioritizes personal needs over the collective welfare. Starting from the age of 15 and up to 30, every Turian serves the state in diverse roles, spanning from soldiers and administrators to construction engineers and sanitation workers. Their strong proclivity for public service and self-sacrifice often leads them to entrepreneurial pursuits. As a solution, they embrace the Volus as clients,
they're really strong when it comes to law enforcement and everything.
Relationship with this mercantile race, where the Turians offer protection in exchange for the Volus's financial expertise. While not easily provoked to violence, they comprehend only the concept of total war once conflict becomes unavoidable. Rather than engaging in small-scale battles or skirmishes, they deploy massive fleets and numerical superiority to vanquish adversaries, seeking to destroy them so comprehensively that any prospect of future confrontation is eliminated. Though they're just trying to destroy the enemy's military, as they do seek to subjugate the conquered and use them as work in Turian colonies. Speculation exists that a future conflict between the rapidly advancing humans and Turians would cause widespread devastation in known space. At the core of Turian society lies its military, transcending the role of a mere armed force to function as an all-encompassing public works organization.
He has really cool armor.
Military police also act as civic police, while fire brigades serve both the civilian populace and military establishments. Turian engineers construct and maintain essential infrastructure such as spaceports, schools, water purification plants, and power stations. The merchant marine ensures the efficient distribution of vital resources to all worlds. And they are often seen as a species of people who get things done, mostly due to the fact that their entire culture has a military hierarchy structure, so any changes or advancements accepted by the leadership are swiftly embraced by the rest of society with minimal resistance. While of course individual Turians possess their own desires, their instinctual inclination is to identify with the group and prioritize the collective good over personal ambitions. They were instilled with a profound sense of personal responsibility, embodied in the concept of Turian honor, which other races find remarkable. And they are taught extreme ownership over every decision they make, whether it went favorable or against their predictions.
I remember you.
While the gravest offense they can commit is to lie. Very rarely one will try and hide a murder, but most Turians would confess to it directly. And there are very rare instances of nepotism, but as a rule and at every level of their culture, they do believe and practice meritocracy. Their economy surpasses that of the Alliance significantly, though it's not as great as the Asaris. Cultural disinterest in economics hindered development for a considerable period, but that's where their alliance with the Volus helped to advance them. A robust infrastructure sustains the military, aided by established manufacturers like Armax Arsenal and the Hylat Armory, renowned for crafting sophisticated and dependable weaponry. And strangely enough, Volus manufacturers have gained notoriety for producing inexpensive
I don't think I really
imitations
used
of Turian
Turian weapons when I played the game.
Feel about these knockoffs. For their religion, they hold belief in the existence of spirits that extend beyond individual beings and encompass various groups and places.
By the spirits, Shepard, in my store.
A military unit, for instance, is believed to possess a distinct spirit, embodying the honor and courage it has demonstrated. A city's spirit reflects the achievements and industry of its inhabitants, while an ancient tree's spirit symbolizes the beauty and serenity of its surroundings. These spirits are neither good or bad, and are not supplicated for intervention. They do not think that the spirits can influence the world directly in any material way, but they acknowledge that the spirits can serve as sources for inspiration, help focus and direct your thoughts, and thus in an indirect way can work through people. And so though not believing that they can do something directly, or praying for that to come about, there are what are equivalent to essentially prayer rituals, but the individual is expecting to communicate with the spirits to seek guidance or inspiration. For instance, a Turian facing a test of loyalty
I like
may
that
call
color on
upon
the left.
spirit of their unit, seeking to reconnect with the group's pride and honor. Another Turian aspiring to create a work of art might attempt to commune with the spirit of a breathtaking location. They enjoy complete religious freedom and can follow any faith that resonates with them, as long as it does not hinder anyone's ability to fulfill their responsibilities. Many of them practice the Asari Siarist philosophy, and since initiating dialogue with the Human Systems Alliance, some have even embraced Confucianism and Zen Buddhism. In ancient times, Turians believed colossal titans strode across Palaven, who reached up to the heavens. They worshipped these deities and communed with them at a structure known as the Temple Palaven.
Oh, there's Mass Effect
this temple
comics.
was attended to by the Veluvian priests, distinguished by their shrouding purple robes. To become part of this religious order, Turians had to prove their worthiness through specific actions. However, as the Turians expanded their reach beyond Palaven and encountered other forms of life among the stars, the temple was eventually abandoned, for the legends of the Titans were no longer necessary to spur them onward. Over time, the Veluvian priests faded into the realm of folklore, though there is this mysterious wall painting. It is of course stylized, and we can't know which of the humanoid species is trying to be depicted here, but I wouldn't say Krogan or Solarian. It would seem more like humans, Turians, or Asari. And you can see that there are these Titans next to them, which seem to be a third separate race, not being the Leviathan that's also shown. It may be a species that was being mentally controlled by the Leviathans, a servant species that was lost to time, and acted as a way to control the primitive Turians. And when the Leviathans were chased away by the Reapers, the myths of these beings evolved over time. But this is still an unsolved mystery, so we can't say for sure, but the evidence here seems to be the closest thing to this. Now turning to their government, they are ruled by the Turian hierarchy. Though like any system, there exists a potential for misuse, it's balanced by a sense of civic duty and personal accountability instilled in Turians in their formative years. They are classified into 27 citizenship tiers, starting with civilians, including client races and children. Military service marks the second tier, while formal citizenship is attained at the third tier, following boot camp, and the rest of your life would see you settling into one of these other tiers. Client races achieve citizenship upon completion of their service. Higher-ranking citizens are entrusted with leadership and protection.
Well, that female shepherd's got the
while lower-ranking citizens are expected to obey and support their superiors. Progressing to a higher tier of civilization hinges on personal evaluations, done by superiors and co-rankers. The Primarches, ruling over colonization clusters, occupy the apex of the hierarchy, collectively vote on matters of national significance. Otherwise, they adopt
they're pretty much
approach,
the brain of the civilization.
Execution of duties to the citizens of each tier below them. Turians continually ascend to higher tiers throughout their lives and may occasionally experience demotion to lower ranks. However, the stigma attached to demotion falls not on the individual, but on those who prematurely promoted them, and this serves as a deterrent against promoting individuals into positions beyond their capabilities.
For a Turian commander, what happened here is, let's just say the Turian code is not forgiving. And that it's his son is bad for the Primarch. Promoting family without merit can bite you in the ass.
And thus, settling into a role and rank is not perceived as stagnation, as Turians value understanding their limitations more than ambition. They do enjoy significant freedoms, provided they fulfill their duties and refrain from hindering others' responsibilities. For instance, it might seem surprising, but recreational drug use is not prohibited by law, but if their performance suffers due to drug use, their superiors intervene. Judicial proceedings take the form of interventions, where peers express concern and attempt to persuade the offender to change their ways. In
Oh wow,
cases of
Garrus and Shepard are
unsuccessful
going at it.
rehabilitation,
And now
Turians
everybody's
have no
watching.
reservations about sentencing dangerous individuals to a lifetime of hard labor for the state. And all of this is succinctly summed up in the name of the Turian imperial anthem, Die for the Cause. Compared to the Krogan's brutality, the Asari's refined biotic skill, and the humans' adaptability, the Turian
Whoa, what's
military
this? This
stands
is a
out
game?
for its formidable discipline. The officers and NCOs are seasoned lifers, with extensive field experience, while the enlisted personnel undergo thorough training and almost always maintain composure under fire. Their units are known for unwavering resolve. Even in the face of complete collapse, they orderly retreat.
If that's
setting
a game, I'm
ambushes
gonna-
along the way.
I need to get
Popular
it.
saying aptly captures their tenacity. You will only see a Turian's back once he's dead. Boot camp commences on the 15th birthday, providing soldiers with a year of training before joining a field unit, while officers undergo even longer preparation. The majority serve until the age of 30, transitioning to the reserves thereafter. Even those with injuries preventing frontline service often contribute through support work behind the lines. While biotics are respected for their precision, common soldiers don't always fully trust them, and Turians prefer to assign biotics to specialized teams known as cabals. The military adopts a decentralized and adaptable command and control structure, with individual squads being able to call for artillery and air support. They make extensive use of combat drones and VI-controlled fighters for lighter duties. And they excel in combined arms operations, deploying infantry alongside armor and backed by overhead gunships. Strategically, they adopt a methodical and patient approach, expressing a dislike for risky operations.
I like the
Tradition holds
designs of
great
their ships, though.
significance, with each legion employing a full-time staff of historians to meticulously record its battle
Oh, that's a particle
Some
rifle.
legions
I
boast
really like
records
that.
dating back to the Turian Iron Age, a truly impressive feat because if a legion was destroyed in battle, it was reconstituted rather than replaced. Auxiliary units recruited from conquered or absorbed minor races like the Volus supported the wider Turian forces. These auxiliaries often comprised light infantry or armored cavalry units, serving as screens and support for the main battle formations. Upon the conclusion of their service, the recruits are granted Turian citizenship. Many Turian families possess small arms in their homes and undergo basic training courses that include instructions on crafting simple anti-vehicle explosives. To suppress citizen militias, the Turian
Anti-vehicle
hierarchy
explosives,
deploys
wow.
execution squads, known as the Hastatim. First, safe camps are established to encourage surrender. Subsequently, Hastatim soldiers conduct door-to-door operations, using lethal force against those who refuse to be transported to safe camps or show hostile intent. Hastatim burial units retrieve and cremate bodies. This approach becomes necessary as safe camps incentivize surrender, and without Hastatim, pacifying a population would take years. The mainstay of the Turian infantry is the face-stun assault rifle, a light and accurate weapon
that's not the
with
particle
greater firepower
My bad,
compared
guys.
to other rifles of similar size.
I use
They
that
also have
rifle.
the
I
Craze
really like it
anti-material
too.
sniper rifle and the ML-77 missile launcher, supplied by
I mean, the
Armax
design looks pretty
Arsenal,
similar in my
which was
opinion.
that key Turian military supplier.
Kind of.
As for vehicles, they have the A-61 Mantis gunship, a versatile multi-role aircraft, the C-77 Tyrus, a robust 13-ton infantry fighting vehicle, the APC variant of the M080, and the Jiris infantry fighting vehicle, a hovercraft capable of engaging enemies at distances of 20 kilometers, launching missiles across any terrain. Their navy consists of at least 32 fleets, boasting more dreadnoughts than any other race as per the Treaty of Phyrexian. They possessed 37 dreadnoughts in 2183, and they had 2 more just 2 years later. The Turian hierarchy and Vol Protectorate
Wow,
jointly
so their
received
military
the
is
dreadnought
strong.
Hunu as a gift from the Elkos Combine. And they have at least 2 fighter carriers, and serving as the galactic peacekeeping force, the Navy is the primary military arm of the Council and contributes the largest portion to Citadel Fleet. As for their history, for 15 millennia, Turian civilization has flourished. Long before their own rise, elder spacefaring races like the Protheans perceived them as primitive, much like the other dominant species of the current era. Similar to the prospective
remember
Council
Javid calling
species,
them primitives
the Turians
and all
possessed
that.
a mass relay within their system.
Not just the
Their
Turians,
initial
every
venture
single
through
race.
a relay was undertaken aboard the THV Ravuna starship, and prior to the Asari's arrival at the Citadel, the Turians had already explored numerous mass relays and established colonies across the galaxy. During the formation of the Council by the Asari and Solarians, the Turians were entangled in a bitter civil war adjacent to their territories. Dubbed the Unification War, the conflict originated with hostilities between colonies situated farthest from their homeworld, Palaven. These outlying colonies were governed by local chieftains, many of whom had distanced
I gotta
themselves
look into
from the
these
central hierarchy.
comics.
As the government's influence waned, the colonies grew increasingly insular and developed a xenophobic mindset. Emblems and facial markings emerged as distinguishing features, fueling hostilities and dividing the colonists. When the war eventually erupted, the hierarchy initially maintained strict diplomatic distance and abstained from involvement. After years of relentless conflict, only a few factions survived, compelling the hierarchy to intervene. By that time, the chieftains had weakened considerably, leaving them no choice but to halt the fighting and recommit to the hierarchy's authority. Although peace was eventually restored, it took several decades for the deep-seated animosity between colonists to fully subside. Even today, most Turians still bear the facial markings that symbolize their respective home colonies. Amidst the Krogan rebellions, the Turians would have their first contact experience with the greater galactic community of the Citadel Council. Responding to the Council's request, the Turians unleashed their formidable war machine against the now acknowledged threat posed by the Krogan. If you watched our video on the Asari species, you know this would have been heavily influenced by the matriarchs. Usually deeming a species worthy due to great wisdom and intellect, we must wonder if the Turians' main attraction was simply their military might in this time of emergency. While the initial Turian offensive succeeded in dispersing numerous Krogan warrior bands, incited a massive retaliatory assault from the Krogan, leading to the destruction of several Turian colonies. In a show of brutal force, the Krogan employed fusion torches to hurl asteroids at 3 Turian worlds, rendering them completely uninhabitable. During the bloodiest battles in Turian history, Daenerys witnessed a severe bombardment, prompting the Turians to sacrifice numerous frigates and fighters to vanquish a fleet of Krogan dreadnoughts. Rather than repelling the Turians, this display of power only fueled their resolve to crush the Krogan entirely. It was then that the Turians adopted the Solarian-developed genophage in order to neutralize the Krogan's numerical advantage. By 800 CE, the majority of the Krogan were subdued, although sporadic insurgent actions persisted for decades. In recognition of their crucial role during the Krogan rebellions, the Turians earned full membership on the Council Citadel by 900 CE. The Turian military filled the void left by the decimated Krogan, shouldering the responsibilities of both military defense and peacekeeping. By 2157 CE, abiding by council regulations established after the Rachni Wars, which forbade the activation of uncharted mass relays, a Turian contingent unleashed an attack on explorers from an unknown race, which came to be known as humanity. Once human starships managed to elude capture and promptly alerted the system's alliance, which retaliated by destroying several Turian vessels. The situation swiftly spiraled into full-blown war. In the ensuing weeks, the Alliance found itself outnumbered and suffered multiple losses of scouting parties and patrols due to the relentless Turian offensives. The conflict reached a critical point when a Turian fleet penetrated Alliance defenses and laid siege to the human colony of Shanxi. With limited options, the Alliance garrison there eventually surrendered, leading to the Turian occupation of the world and their belief that they had triumphed over most Alliance forces. But 1 month later, the Alliance's second fleet took the Turian occupiers by surprise, liberating Shanxi. Preparations for an extensive interplanetary war were underway on both sides when the Citadel Council intervened and introduced humanity to the galactic community, and subsequent peace negotiations further led to peace. The Council ordered the Turians to provide substantial reparations to the Alliance for their role in igniting what the galaxy came to know as the Relay 314 incident. The mutual mistrust between the two races persisted for years to come. Amidst the Reaper invasion of 2186, the Turian colony of Tatris endured one of the initial assaults following the fall of Karshan and Earth. The hierarchy launched 2 futile attempts to liberate Tatris. As the Reapers surged into the Trebia system and besieged Palavan, they transmitted images of Tatris' devastation across the Turian comm-buoy network. Despite facing substantial resistance from the Turians during their invasion of Palavan and their world Mane, much of the Turian fleet remained operational after the Reapers' initial strike, and the armed citizenry supported Turian forces effectively. While the hierarchy asserted that Palavan continued its resistance, the Reapers still gained considerable ground, resulting in a mounting number of Turian casualties. An unexpected ally, the Krogan, joined the war after the genophage was cured, bringing relief to the Turians. A joint Turian-Krogan counterattack caught the Reapers off guard. While the Reaper fleet around Palavan was preoccupied with a perceived Turian offensive, Krogan reinforcements arrived on Palavan's surface, coordinating with Turian resistance fighters and providing warp bombs and fission weapons. Smuggled aboard Reaper ships, these weapons were detonated simultaneously, reclaiming significant territories. The news of this victory bolstered the morale of the Turian resistance and the galactic community as a whole.
Okay, so it looks like that's Mass Effect multiplayer or something.
You kept your end of the bargain, and now I'll keep mine. The Turian hierarchy will stand with humanity against the Reapers.
But the Reapers quickly retaliated. Recognizing the futility of the situation, Primarch Victus ordered the remaining Turian warships to withdraw from the Trebius system to join the Allied assault on Earth. Activating the Crucible was the sole means to end the war, requiring access to the Citadel, which the Reapers had moved to Earth's orbit for safekeeping. In the space and ground battles, the Turian forces fought heroically alongside Commander Shepard, who reached the Citadel to trigger the Crucible. So with the Codex closed on the Turians, let's end on some cool facts and behind-the-scenes stuff. The term Turian finds its roots in the Centurion, while Palaven draws inspiration from both the Palatine Hill and the word Paladin. The influence of the Roman Empire is evident in the Turian names, culture, and military
So
doctrine,
the Turians are heavily based on Roman history.
And their concept of public service within Turian culture was inspired by the Terran Federation, depicted in Robert Heinlein's novel Starship Troopers. There were no female Turian game models until Mass Effect 3 Omega DLC was released, which is 5 years after the initial game. And there was a lot of debate on how to differentiate their facial features from males. With the comic Mass Effect Evolution introducing the character of
yeah, that is true. I didn't see a single female Turian until the third game.
According to the art of Mass Effect, Turian ships incorporated layered plates to symbolize the feathered appearance of the Turians themselves. And in Mass Effect 3's cooperative multiplayer mode, players can assume the role of Turians. During the mission Tachanka Bomb in Mass Effect 3, there was a slight inconsistency, is that they bleed red, where all other instances they bleed blue. If you made it this far, please hit that like button, it's the best way to help me out. Comment your thoughts, and subscribe to see more. Check out these videos, I'm sure you'll like them, but most important of all, remember, develop your own military, so that you don't have to rely on aliens to do it for you. But for now, I should go.
Okay, so that was our most hated alien species, Turian species. So, looks like, it didn't really say much about the Asari Solarians, but the reason why they were hated by the Krogans was because of the genophage, and hated by the humans at first was because of, the war, and how humanity pretty much lost a lot against the Turians, because the Turians are very strong when it comes to military, CSEC, police, everything. But I say they pretty much made it for it during the events of Mass Effect 2 and 3. Because, 3, they stood with humanity and everything like that. So, I guess, in a way, they were, like, working on the redemption. But I really like this video. But what this... Sorry, guys. Excuse me. So, what this video really, like, opened up to me was how, like, the history of the Turians. And the fact that when the Turians were, like, designed and developed by the developers, looks like they were really heavily based on Roman legionaries, and also their history, the names and everything, Centurions, Paladins, all those. And as you guys all know, Garrus is like the most well-known Turian in the game because he's with you since like Mass Effect 1. And on top of that, looks like there's two things that really opened up to me. One, they kept on showing that like little strategy game. It looked like with Mass Effect. I don't know if that was just a mod or that's really a Mass Effect strategy game. And two, there's a lot of Mass Effect comics, so I'm gonna have to search for those and see where it goes from there. But anyways, that's all I got for today, and it was fun checking out the Turians. The next time you guys see me, we're actually gonna be moving on to the Protheans, because I'm just watching this in alphabetical order, like of the videos I have saved, so that way it's a lot easier to organize. But yeah, after this one, it's the Protheans, and then you guys are gonna see me watch the Keepers. So that's all I got for today. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. Hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video. And shout out to all my members, subscribers, viewers. You guys are all amazing. You guys are the reason why this channel keeps on going. And if you guys have any other suggestions, please put down in the comments below. But until then, I'll see you guys next time.